What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another random movie review channel. Thank you for stopping by. My name is Chase, and let's talk about one. And the one I want to talk about right now is Rosaline. Now, this one actually comes to us from 20th Century Studios, and it drops on Hulu this Friday, October 14th, if you care to watch this film, regardless of what I'm about to say. So, what is this movie about? Comedic retelling of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, told from the point of view of Romeo's jilted ex Rosaline, the woman Romeo first claims to love before he falls for Juliet. That is your plot synopsis right there. And going into this, I never saw a trailer. I heard like whispers that hey, there's a Rosalind film out there. It's from the point of view of Romeo's ex. And then once I actually got the opportunity to watch this film and review it for you all, I then went on IMDb. I was like, okay, this is the Romeo's X one. It could be really funny. It could be really charming. It could be a unique and very well deserved fresh breath of fresh air when it comes to like Romeo and Juliet stories. We've already seen the story told a million times, right? So it's nice to have a different take on it, a different um, viewpoint. Different characters. Like we can get invested in someone else's story. That's all interesting to me. So without seeing any trailers and kind of jumping into it, I saw the film. I want to take a break to thank the sponsor of this video, Movie Palette. Hi, it's me interrupting me, and I just wanted to take a break to thank the sponsor of this review, Movie Palette. Movie Palette takes the concept of the movie poster to the next level. Movie Palette consists of stripes of colors carefully chosen by their team of artists. Every stripe represents a color of a particular scene in a movie and is put in chronological order on the canvas. There are so many movies to pick from, and it doesn't even stop there. They also have whole seasons of TV shows. I recently moved and I needed some things to put on my wall, and I was getting tired of putting up traditional movie posters and wanting something different, and Movie Palette stepped up to the plate. The movie palette that I chose was one of my favorite movies of all time, Logan. This gorgeous palette is a constant reminder of how beautiful this film is and how each scene evokes a different emotion all through its language of color, not to mention a great conversation starter. This is a unique piece to any film and TV lover's home, and I want to help you get one. Use the discount code CHASE15 for 15% off of any product on their website. Film is art, so why not display your favorite as such? That's 15% off of your order when you use the code CHASE15. It's okay. I think the most shocking thing out of all of this are the writers, Scott Neustadter and Michael H. Weber. You're probably thinking, like, why does it matter who the writers are? These gentlemen have written The Disaster Artist, 500 Days of Summer, uh, The Spectacular Now, The Fault in Our Stars. These guys know how to make a very well written, grounded, like a strong emotional backbone type of romance where like you are with these characters every step of the way and you were in their lives and you're super involved. So with that information, especially since I like all four of those movies quite a bit, I was thinking to myself like, how did they stumble so bad with this? This is based on a book which they're also not strangers to. The Fault in Our Stars, Spectacular Now, The Disaster Artist. I think 500 Days of Summer was also based on a book, right? So like these guys are great at like adaptations, right? I think what really just kind of, is just kind of there for me is the romance and the comedy. The story overall, it just I get like I get some of the things they were trying to go for in terms of like what it means to actually love someone and like what true love actually feels like and what it actually looks like. And it's not just this shiny facade that you are chasing after. It's like what you feel deeply within about that person. Like that's what love is all about. And so I get all of that, but that's not enough for me to care about the story. I thought the romance was kind of just average. Seeing it from Rosalind's perspective and seeing her go through her like new romance and trying to figure out like who she actually loves and like what love actually means. Like it's fine. It's the way you expect the story to go. Does the comedy work? It works sometimes. I chuckle here and there. I like how they speak with modern language throughout the film, and that made me laugh. It reminds me of like the PG-13 version of Your Highness. You remember that movie with Danny McBride and Natalie Portman and James Franco, where it was also kind of a medieval setting where they also spoke like spoke back in the day, which was, my God, how old is that movie? Anyways, it was modern type of language, and so that was kind of the appeal of it. They do the same thing here, and some of the stuff actually made me chuckle. There's one scene where this messenger comes up, and you expect the messenger to be like, he year this note cometh from the field from that gentleman over there who sent you the love letter. No, this guy's just like, yeah, I just got done with all the mail. Bag's a little lighter now. Walk around. I it's just there was stuff like that that kind of made me chuckle a little bit, but for the most part, the comedy didn't really work that well for me either. But I appreciate it for trying every step of the way because it makes it stand out as something unique in the kind of Shakespearean um, told universe. And so I yeah, I'm kind of baffled that these two gentlemen adapted this book and wrote the script to this because it's very lackluster compared to what I'm used to them doing, which is pretty great romance films and pretty great films overall. So yeah, I just thought the one of the weakest parts for me was the screenplay when it comes to um characters, romance, the comedy, all of it just was like just there. It's fine. Director Karen Main, I think her and Caitlin Deaver do, I think, the best work. But the director, Karen Main, I think what I like the most is the visual aesthetic of the film, the production design, the cinematography. You really feel like you're there. Like it really just captures the environment and the atmosphere, and like it's very playful and charming, and like it's very whimsical. Like that stuff works for me. I have no issue with that. um, yeah, so I think the directing is probably the second best thing, and I think the best thing overall is Caitlin Deaver. She gives it her all, and she always has in every single project she's ever been attached to. She is charming. She is, uh, a character that doesn't quit. She has like this bite to her. She's really entertaining to watch. Like it's a fascinating type of character because you're like, okay, so it's not about Romeo and Juliet. It's literally someone looking from the outside in, and how does that person function when they're not around Romeo and Juliet? What is their life like? What are their desires and their love, and what are their trials and tribulations, and what are their failures like? What are their fears in life? Like I want to know everything, and so I didn't get enough of that depth wise. But the performance from Deaver, she really brings her A game, and there's a lot of personality brought forth with that character, and I enjoyed watching her in this film. Everyone else is fine. Person that plays Romeo, sure. Juliet, sure. The new love interest, sure. But it's mainly her movie, and I think she owns it, and she carries this movie on her back, and I think she does a pretty great job. So for me, this is not anything that's like, it's not groundbreaking in the romance genre or the romantic comedy genre, the Shakespearean universe of films. It's interesting. It's unique in that perspective. But for me, its main thing, which is being a romance, being a comedy, does not work with me 100%. And so for me, it was just kind of like it's a watchable movie, but it's not anything great. It's not anything bad. But it's on Hulu if you want to check it out. So that will do it for my review of Rosaline. What did you think of the film? Whether you liked it, loved it, hated it, what did you think of the book? Let me know all that down below. And that will do it for this review, guys. I'm Chase Lee. Thank you to our sponsor, Movie Palette, for sponsoring this review. And I'll see you guys for the next review. Goodbye.